Do you know what the biggest thing that could hold you back in your career? Well, you better stay tuned. I'm going to talk about it today. Hey, Frank Thomas here from Wealth Creation Strategies. Today I'm talking about the number one thing I feel will hold you back in your career. If you're still working, if you haven't made your $1 million or $2 million or whatever it is, you're probably still working, you probably still have a job somewhere. And let me tell you what I feel is the biggest thing that holds you back from earning the big bucks. Because hey, at the end of the day, if we're trading time for money, we want to make as much as we can from our time as we physically can. That's the difference between somebody who works his whole life as a slave and somebody who works and becomes a millionaire, is they make their time very valuable and precious to them. And you need to do that as well. You need to make sure that your time is so precious to you that nobody can steal it away. It's more precious than gold. Let me tell you something about time. It comes and it goes, and you can't get it back. You can't buy more. You can't recall a second. Once it flies by, it's gone. Hey, what I just said, it's gone. It's gone. So you need to get to a place where you realize that your time is extremely valuable. I've seen time and time again when I've talked to people in the workplace, the number one thing that I think that they take gun and shoot foot. It happens all the time, and that is not believing in themselves. I know it sounds so simple, but it's such a big thing. People don't believe in themselves. Whether you know it or not, we all wear our fears, our things right here on our shoulder. Everything we have in our lives is sitting right there, and people can see it all the time. How does that happen? It's in our body language. We don't realize it, but our body language betrays us all the time. My wife says to me, I can always tell what you're thinking about because it's written all over your face. I can see it all over your face. Well, she doesn't know me very well. I believe in a lot of situations I have a pretty strong poker face in the business world. She can read right through it. She can see my body language that something's up or I'm not happy. It usually comes around with the fact that either I'm uncomfortable with the situation or I don't know the answer, I don't believe in myself. And I see that all the time. You have to realize, guys and girls, that when you get into the workplace, you're not expected to know everything. If you knew everything, you'd be God. Let's just call it what it is. And none of us knows everything. I have been in the programming realm now for over a decade. I've been in computers and computer science trades now for over 25 years. There's still tons of things I do not know. I remember there's one time I went to a job interview. They saw on my resume that I work with Linux and I work with Windows and I did this and work with all, because I was more of a systems guy at the time. And I worked with all these different systems. And the one person who was running the interviews, one of the senior directors of the company, turned to me and said, well, it's impossible for you to do all this. You'd have to be like 200 years old to have an understanding of all these things. And I looked him right in the eye and said, it's not that I have an understanding of all these things. I have worked on all these things, yes. Absolutely, there's no lies on my resume. But I've also got a wonderful library that has all the facts and details. I don't try to memorize everything. I don't try to know everything, but I know where I can find that information when I need it. He was the guy who was my strongest advocate, and I got hired for the position because of him. It's not that I shut him down, but I had answered his question in a way that was confident. Let me answer that same question in the way I see happen quite often in the workplace. Same question, how can you know all these things? Oh, well, I've kind of worked on this and I think I know and yes, I'm doing all these things like starting and looking down on purpose, and I'm overemphasizing the point. But I have seen this over and over and over again. I've seen it in job interviews. It's death in a job interview. When you go for a job interview, let's say you want to get a position with a company and it's a really good job and you really like the company and everything else. Now, I'm a firm believer that you're going to be where you're going to be because you're meant to be there. So I walk in owning the place. Not cocky, but just owning the place. Like, hey, how you doing? My name is Frank Thomas. I look people in the face. There's times that people throw me a loop. In every job interview that's been a good job interview, they've tried to find a way to crack my shell. That's good. When I give job interviews, I do that too. I try to crack people's shells because then I start to get to know who they really are. This job interview that I went on just recently, one of the questions was, oh, well, what are you going to do about this technology? Because I see that you really didn't talk about it too much, and this is really important. I said, well, I guess it's something new I got to learn. Well, why would you say that, you know? And I said, well, being honest with you, it's not impossible. I can learn anything that I need to learn for the position. And I'm excited to learn this because this is something I want to use going forward. So if you're interested in allowing me have some time to learn this stuff, I'll learn it. And I just left it like that. I showed a sign of confidence. I try really hard not to let people rattle my cage when it comes to business situations. When you're talking to a peer or a boss or a subordinate, or you're in a meeting, allow yourself to be confident in yourself. Believe in yourself. And that's coming back to the main topic of this whole video, is you need to learn to believe in yourself. Because when you believe in yourself, you become that person. You become the solution and no longer the problem. You become a problem solver, not a problem creator. And that's a big difference. Again, it's sitting right here. Everybody can see it no matter what. So you might as well handle it the best way you can. There's times when I had situations where I've screwed up. I've made a big mistake, and it's been an expensive mistake. And I know it. I know I made that mistake. It's not that I went out of my way to make it, but it happened. So when the topic comes up, and 9 times out of 10, I'll attack that before it becomes a problem. And I'll say, hey, I just want everybody to know I made a huge mistake, and I explain myself. I tell them what happened. You know something? I'm still surviving. Nobody's taken a gun and shot me in the head for it. Has it been pleasant at times? Does it feel nice to say that I screwed up? No, it sucks. I'm going to be straight up. It sucks. Should it break your belief in yourself? No, absolutely not. You still need to believe that you're the right person for this job. You still got to believe that you're supposed to be there. Now that's really important, because that can make or break your future salary, your future career, what you do. Again, we're always trying to make as much as we can in the time that we're there. I say to you, definitely attack the day. Don't go out of your way to attack other people. It's better to be confident and serene. One thing I found too is you can show confidence by zipping your mouth and keeping your ears open. Just saying. That is also an extremely important quality to have. Learn to be slow to answer and quick to listen all the time, because you'll be surprised, because you have to realize, especially in confrontational situations, everybody, and it's just not you that's got everything sitting there. Everybody around you, same thing, and you got to realize that. I remember one time my youngest daughter came home and she was very upset from work. She had another lady just absolutely tear a strip off of her, and the words she used were ugly, and she wasn't very nice, and I felt that it was way beyond the situation. It was way beyond. And I turned to my daughter and I didn't say, oh, shame, honey, I feel bad for you. I turned to her and said, well, first of all, you need to forgive that person. You just need to forgive them. And I could see her, you know, she's about to blast off on me because she's upset. And I said, but hold on, gotta think about that, because what you speak, you also say to yourself. Just listen to your inner dialogue. Honestly, listen to your inner dialogue for a few days and see what you're saying to yourself. Are you saying, well, I can't do that. Well, you're dumb, you're an idiot. Why are you so stupid? Oh, you screwed up again. Can't you do this right? We are harder on ourselves than we are to anybody around us. Now, if that person is rough around the edges with everybody around them, if they come up and say, oh, why you screwed that all up? What, are you an idiot or something? Can you just imagine what they're saying to themselves? Oh my goodness gracious. It's rare that I've met a person that's so delusional that they speak this hate to everybody else, and then they think they're the greatest thing since sliced cheese on the inside. Honestly, I don't think I've met one person like that, so I don't think it exists. But the truth of the matter is, learn to believe in yourself. You learn to really believe in yourself. And I'm not, again, I really want to reemphasize to this point that you're not trying to be everything to everybody. You can never do that. You ain't God. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. When you believe in yourself, all of a sudden you have this superpower and this shield in life, and you can withstand so much. You learn to zip your mouth and open your ears. Again, it aids your belief. A person who believes in themselves and is sure within themselves can take a verbal attack. You heard me right, and come out of it as a trooper, you bet. So make sure you believe in yourself. Hey, if you've gotten something good out of this video, give it a like. I'd really appreciate that. I love it when people give likes. Leave a comment. I am always open to comments. Be sure to check out another video that I just actually recently did called Punching Fear in the Face. And it really fits well with this video, so go check it out. It should be up on the screen right now, and we'll see you over there if you come on over. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.